Mike, my brother, thanks
Hey.
for coming all the way from Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida, man.
Orlando, Florida, coming
Yeah.
to California, man, and making the trip down here for the parables. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.
Dude, how's it been so far coming to California, man?
California's nice, man.
Yeah.
Weather is interesting.
Yeah.
Florida weather, when it's hot everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Humid
here,
too, right? Humid too?
oh man, humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no joke. I was up in Idlewild for 6 days. We did a retreat up there, and I'm staying in San Diego. So to experience the differences as you go to different locations with how the weather changes is
Yeah.
really cool. Because right now San Diego is just cloudy.
Yeah,
It's just cloudy everywhere.
Yeah.
Up here it's beautiful. And in
Yeah.
the mountains it was like 50, 55 degrees. So
Yeah.
big changes.
Like I was telling you, man, yeah, the weather's kind of weird because different parts of Southern California, it's like different. Like it might be gloomy, and then also like one day it's raining, one day it's cloudy, one day it's super hot, and it's just like I don't even know what to wear no more sometimes, to be honest. So yeah, dude. But anyway, man, yeah, dude, I appreciate you coming because again, as you know, because you're here, I don't like to do remote because I think it takes away that intimate setting. It takes away that very conversation, just laid back, thing that we got going on here. But dude, I appreciate you coming and also I'm so happy you're here because when we spoke on the phone, man, I loved everything that you spoke about. It was very, very interesting. I don't think I've ever, I know there's a lot of people out there that I know that have that mentality and mindset behind everything, the way you approach and the way everything you look at fitness. But I don't think maybe they've really elaborated and explained it the way you did. And dude, I was pretty fascinated by the way you approach things. So really, aside from we're going to be getting into that obviously, but we really want to get to know you too, because again, I want the audience to feel as if they're sitting here with us, getting to know who you are. And being that you're an arte, also, that already speaks a lot about you. So again, and I'm very selective who I bring on here because I know what you're doing is very special, and I know you're looking to make a massive impact in that, in the world, not only in the industry you're in, but also in the world too. So let's talk about just kind of a little bit about who you are, kind of, where you grew up, and leading to everything where you are today. Long story.
I'm gonna keep it short. Yeah, most of my childhood I spent in survival.
Okay.
Most of my teenage years I spent in rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left the house as soon as I turned 18 and did the school thing for a couple years. I went to Slippery Rock University, which is known for their physical education programs and also their sport management program, which is what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. This is still on Florida area, or
this is in Pittsburgh, Western.
Okay.
Yeah, Western Pennsylvania.
Okay, Pennsylvania. Okay.
And after 2 years, I left the program because my high school girlfriend at the time, that I was still driving back home to see, told me that she got pregnant. Yeah. And the reason I bring that up is because that was the course correction of my life.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, bringing a child into the world makes you reevaluate things.
Absolutely.
And also forces you to make hard decisions.
Yeah.
So I left school and I jumped into the restaurant industry so that I could support them. And I stayed there my entire life until about almost 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And
around what age was this? Like around when your wife, your girl became pregnant?
19.
19, okay.
Yeah, I was
very
19. Yeah. Yeah, my daughter will be 16 in November, so yeah, I was 19. But the restaurant industry teaches you a lot.
Yeah.
I think everybody should just spend 1 year in the restaurant industry because you can learn amazing things and you can get exposed to amazing things that you can use for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Developing social skills, emotional intelligence, all kinds of things, intuitive things in body language, and just really getting to know people and their energy.
Yeah.
15 years in the restaurant industry has really honed those skills for me.
Dang, 15 years?
15 years, brother.
Yeah.
I was in there.
What type in the restaurant industry? Like as far as like you were like kind of like the waiter, you managed, or
I did everything.
Yeah,
dude.
everything.
Everything. You can wash dishes, tended a salad bar in one place, host,
Yeah.
bartended, server all the way up to my last position was a manager, AGM.
Okay. That's the one industry I did not get myself in, but I completely agree in that I already know the customer service, like you said, is a fast-paced environment. The communication, just the people skills, the rapport that you build, and just that stuff. That's the one thing I do regret. But I can only met 15 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Long time, multiple restaurants, different style restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn a lot.
Yeah.
And the last one was had a pretty high price point to eat there, and it was very convention based.
Okay.
So I was able to learn how to speak to all kinds of different demographics and all kinds of different people in different social categories and income levels and craziness, man.
Yeah.
So you really learn a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. So it sounds like that being in that industry has definitely helped you to kind of where you are today, obviously, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, 100%.
Yeah. So what made you decide? Because clearly you're not in the restaurant industry anymore, right?
I'm not.
Okay. So 3 years ago, walk me through kind of. Well, actually, let's go back just a little bit. Were you always kind of destined or thought you would be in the restaurant industry, or did you kind of it kind of fell into that and then?
No, I wanted to do health and fitness.
Health and
I went to school. My major was sport management.
Yeah, because that's where because you told me that, and then you went into the restaurant. So, but you needed to provide for your family.
Yeah, it was restaurants are the in my opinion, one of the quickest and easiest ways to make a great living.
Yeah.
And still have the flexibility of being able to either design a schedule for yourself so that you have time to take care of, whatever you got to take care of at home. Mm-hmm. We call it fast cash. Uh-huh. Fast cash in the restaurant industry, and people get hooked on that. Mm-hmm. Leaving with the money that you do in cash out the door can become very addictive.
Yeah. So after being in 15 years, did you kind of have in the back of your head like, okay, this was temporary, I know I'm still want to get back into fitness, or kind of did you have a plan to kind of get out of it, or timing thing, or kind of walk me through that?
Yeah, I can't say that I had a plan.
Okay.
I don't think mentally I was there where I was thinking that far ahead.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about surviving.
Yeah.
Really.
And providing for your family.
How am I going to provide? How am I going to pay the bills and all that? So that's where my head was at that time. Mm-hmm. As things started settling down, I started realizing this job isn't doing anything for me. Mm-hmm. After about 14, 15 years, I started realizing.
In what sense? In what sense do you mean by?
So if you walk into a job and you don't acquire energy when you walk in, and instead of feeling rejuvenated, you feel drained, then that's your body telling you something's off.
Yeah.
And that may not be for everyone, but for me, when I was walking into that job, I was dreading being there.
Yeah.
And I could tell that I was out of alignment. And I wasn't pursuing my passion, and I wasn't making the impact that I wanted to make in the world. Although I was doing everything that I knew to do in that industry to make sure that I was providing the service.
Of course.
That I wanted to survive.
You were still a hard worker. You still,
right.
took pride in your work, everything you did.
My work ethics have always been the same. They've been honed and refined through different jobs.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something I felt. Yeah. Like really felt in my body that I wanted to do something more. Yeah. And that's when I decided it was time to go.
Is it safe to say there was definitely like some sort of like your inner well-being? There was like definitely like an imbalance there because you weren't like you said, you felt like you weren't making an impact. You knew you wanted to provide more.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of us get stuck in a cycle where we forget to listen to our intuition. And our intuition is never ever wrong.
Yes.
But we are in such a state of survival. We've been conditioned to be in such a state of survival and upregulation, and where am I going to get the next paycheck, or how am I going to pay the next bill, and how am I going to put food on the table, that we forget to really sit, be quiet, and listen to our bodies and lead with our heart. Yeah. And when we do that, sometimes we may realize that our bodies are sending us a message.
Definitely.
Our hearts are sending us a message.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's as subtle as a whisper, and other times you get hit over the head with a damn 2x4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either way, to take the time to listen can be really, really beneficial and impactful.
Yeah, definitely. How did it come to you? Was it, again, did it kind of like you, you definitely didn't have some sort of like inner peace, right? You found that you weren't there energetic wise, right? I would imagine. Was it just like, did it just hit you like right away and just like, oh man, it's time for a change? Or did it gradually, like you said, 14, 15 years, it really started gradually doing it to the point where you're like, okay, now it's time. I gotta step away and do something different.
Yeah, my heart finally created awareness.
Okay.
So sometimes we're walking through life and we have blinders on like this, right?
Yeah.
We only see what's ahead of us.
Tunnel vision.
Straight ahead.
Yeah.
That's survival mode. You're
Yeah.
like, how am I going to get to the next step? How am I going to accomplish the next thing, right?
Yeah.
When you lead with your heart, things start opening up a little bit for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you start seeing a different perspective on things.
Yeah.
Your peripheral vision starts to get honed in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you may start picking up on different things in the world that may just start coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I stepped out of that, I started realizing, man, people are hurting.
Yeah.
People out there are suffering.
Not just you, like other people too.
A
Like
lot of
if I feel
people.
this way, there's definitely a lot of other people that feel
A
this
lot
way.
of people. And, really for me, it stemmed from my parents, just watching them slowly being survival their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Decades, survival. And that starts taking physiological tolls on your body.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And watching them deteriorate is the best word for it. It's the
Yeah.
most accurate word for it. Watching them deteriorate the way they did made me wake up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was shock and awe for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta at least do something, try and do my part, whatever I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ignited the fire in me for health and fitness and helping people in that way that I've always had.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been suppressed.
Yeah. Yeah. So because obviously, the fitness was always that part, and it ignited that flame, right? Walk me through now, like, so what happened? You obviously got excited, enthusiastic, like, okay, like what's next, right? And you knew you wanted to go that direction. How did you come up with everything else that you're doing, like right now, or like the next step after that?
So I'm blessed because speed of implementation is one of my skills.
Nice.
As soon as I think of something in my head, I apply. I'm like, all right,
You're like a train, huh?
This is my decision.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it happen. And I don't know what the hell I'm gonna. Sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna make it happen. So I made the decision that I was gonna leave, and I was doing well.
Yeah.
Great money. My bosses loved me. The opportunity for promotion and growth was there. But I decided to dive into the unknown and start leading with my heart.
Yeah.
And just trust that this is the right path.
Yeah.
So I gave him like a 6-month notice. I'm like,
Okay, good.
Listen, man, I'm leaving. I know that I'm going to need a replacement. I'll train my replacement. Here's my notice. And then within those 6 months, I started studying and eventually took my NASM certification, which allowed me to open doors with different gyms and then start training clients.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I got my NASM. I started an apprenticeship with a trainer who was in the industry for years, like 15 years, and just stuck with her side by side for a while, picking up different things here and there, and finished a NASM certification. And by the time that was done, it was time to leave, and I started training clients one-on-one. And then it was probably like 4 or 5 months later when I opened Thrīvsource.
Nice.
After that.
So I bring it back. You implement. The speed of implementation, right? I love that because not a lot of people have that. You know what I mean? But what you did was, what I find is very good is you gave yourself that 6-month window. Because some people, they're like, okay, what's next? They leave, but then they don't know what the heck they're doing because they didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
And then they're just like they're just in this hole. You know what I mean? And it's like, what did you expect? You kind of didn't have a plan. You didn't give yourself some time to transition out.
Yeah.
And so you did it. You seem like you did it the right way.
Yeah. Decide you're gonna do something and do it and stick to it. But do it the smart way.
Yeah.
Do it the right way.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is when you make the decision, stick to that decision.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people give themselves that window and then it starts getting a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And they start feeling the heat.
Yeah.
And then they turn around before they finish. But what they don't realize is that their biggest breakthrough may have been right on the other side of that fire.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
And they never give themselves the chance.
Yeah. And I'm sure you could agree with me on this. Before, a lot of, at least with me too, personally, we used to have that mindset, like the uncertainty of your future. You used to be so scared of it because you don't know what could happen, right? You start thinking like, oh, this could happen, that kind of, what if this doesn't pan out the way it is? But now, when you have that perspective, when that perspective shifts, you almost embrace the uncertainty. Like it's exciting. It makes you take action, right?
Yo.
You know what I mean? So, you went full force with it because you stuck with it.
Yeah.
And then, you during that 6-month period, you got your certification, right? And you were getting mentored, it sounded like, and then you started training. Were you training at a facility first before you started your company?
Yep. I was training in a gym in Orlando, and then taking clients, wherever I could. You know how it is at the beginning, man. You go, yeah, $10, sure, come on in.
Yeah,
for free, yeah, let's go.
You're just trying to establish yourself. It sounds
like.
like.
Man, just trying to get the reps in.
Yeah,
it's all about just putting in as many reps as you can at the beginning, and then honing in those skills, and then taking it from there.
Yeah. Besides the the NASM certification, did you also get yourself into other things? Because I understand there's so many certifications out there. There's so many different fields or expertise out there, and I know a lot of fitness people. They almost like do a lot of that because it makes them well-rounded, a little more knowledgeable. Did you kind of go that route, or you just wanted to establish your foundation first and find where your groove was at?
So there's something to be said about continuing your education journey. But you also have to be careful because what most people don't realize is that fitness isn't an information problem. There's no information problem in fitness. Nowadays, in an information age, we can go anywhere. You can get an app on your phone right now that tells you exactly what to do.
Yeah.
What you can't replace in fitness is human connection.
Yeah.
Fitness is based, the ones that do it really well know that in order to be really successful and to really retain, you have to have that connection. And in a day and age where human connection is a scarcity, the person that can really develop that skill is the one that's going to shine and stand out. Because everything's automated nowadays. I mean, look, everywhere you go, there's automation.
Yeah.
But nothing can replace the energy and the connection that two human beings can establish.
Yeah. Do you think it's pretty important that people definitely have like a personal trainer or somebody to kind of show them, functionality, the way the movements work, the exercise, or whatever it may be?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like movement patterns and the way the body responds to different resistance and acute stress is important to have someone there to guide you through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's really, really key.
Can you describe to me? Okay, so going now, when did Thrīvsource kind of come about? Did you always have this idea that you wanted to start something on your own, or I mean, like, what was the the grand picture of that?
I wanted to create something that represented change.
Okay.
I wanted to create something that stood for something more than just physical fitness.
Yeah.
Even the name itself. You remember before when you asked me, like, do I pronounce it Thrive or?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no E. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the word THRIV, you're like, that's not Thrive, that's Thriv, dude.
Yeah.
And a Thriv has no purpose. It has no meaning. But if you make one little change to that word, replacing the traditional I with the long I, now instead of pronouncing it Thriv, you pronounce it Thrive.
Yeah.
And that represents that anyone at any point in time can have a profound effect, can find purpose and meaning in their direction with something as simple as one small change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason that I spelled it that way, and that's the reason that I put that long I on there, because we're all looking for that, what we call our long I, right?
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
heart,
Yeah.
our passion, our drive, our soul.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it really begins with filling your cup first.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to really take care of people, in order to really guide people, even build a business, you have to make sure that you're in the right place,
Mm-hmm.
energetically, physically, mentally, that you're in the right place, because you're just your clients are just a projection of you.
Yeah.
And when you fill your cup first, then you can give from the overflow and the abundance of your cup.
Mm-hmm.
When you try and give from an empty cup, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't work. It turns into resentment. It turns into regret.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't benefit anyone that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I really wanted to establish with the company,
Mm-hmm.
that it's okay to take time to rejuvenate yourself.
Yeah.
And we collapse these words like service and sacrifice and all these different things, and we like reestablish meaning to them. And at the end of the day, we're all suffering. We're suffering because of it.
Yeah. 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 So can you describe to me the inspiration behind that? Because what you're telling me, there was like the way you wanted about it was, establishing that change. Like you want to implement that change. What was the inspiration behind that? Is that something that you always approach, that fitness in that manner? Like, or how did that come about?
Yeah. So for me, in order to heal, you have to feel.
Okay.
Our bodies will store the stories of our life.
Mm-hmm.
Cellular memory is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we try and suppress it down, right? And chain it inside, and it can manifest physiological effects,
Mm-hmm.
like aches and pains and whatever else that you have going on may just be a symptom of you not letting go and releasing of the things that you have been storing your entire life.
Mm-hmm. And we could be talking about again something mentally,
Emotion, all kinds of different things.
all that, yeah.
So I wanted to establish a company that stood for change,
Okay.
and also addressed cognitive fitness,
Mm-hmm. I like that.
physical fitness, and then helped in any way I could with energetic, emotional fitness,
Mm-hmm.
And if you can really take that trifecta, those three things, do those well, then that's when you will really, really see human transformation.
Mm-hmm.
I have clients in this very conventionally ran gym
Mm-hmm.
that are doing the physical part of the exercise and then sitting down and meditating afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
and just getting that mindfulness in and that breathing in, which is so important, because you have these clients, and what I've noticed is that they're there and they're getting to work on it, and you're pushing them to be their best and to get uncomfortable, because we know change happens at the edge of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
We have to get close to that edge before we really, really see the results start coming through.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that I was pushing them, and then I was just like saying, hey, have a nice day. And they were leaving in that upregulated state. And then what happens? You're responsible for this person that you're training. You're upregulating them, and we all live in upregulation anyway, in that state of survival, that fight or flight response, where our adrenaline and our cortisol is through the roof, and we're breathing shallow, and we're like ready.
Yeah.
We live like that all the time. We've been conditioned to live like that.
Yeah.
And now they're going to the gym, which is supposed to be therapeutic. It's supposed to be their release.
Yeah.
We're adding more upregulation, and then we're just sending them out the door. Like, okay, have a nice day. Next client. Who's next?
Yeah.
So I was curious as to what would happen if at the end of our session, I just sat down, did some breathing, did some mindfulness.
This is crazy. Yeah.
And really started down regulating the nervous system.
Yeah.
And what I found is that true transformation started happening
Was taking
for
place.
these people.
Yeah.
I mean, I had clients that were holding on to so much garbage
Yeah.
that has just been eating them for their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And they come into the gym, they're able to release it, and then they're able to let it go. There's a difference between
Releasing and letting it go.
releasing and letting go. There is a difference there.
Yeah.
Because when you release something, you're using all of your energy and all of your might to get it out of you physically.
Yeah.
But when you let something go, you make the decision mentally and emotionally to have that not be a part of your story or your script anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that as I guide them through releasing that a little bit, their bodies started changing because of it.
Wow, that's powerful.
It had physiological effects.
Yeah.
And people started losing weight faster.
Mm-hmm.
They started coming to the gym happier.
Yeah.
I have a Slack channel for all of my clients. I put them all in the same channel so they can interact with each other and hold each other accountable. It's created leaders within my group of clients.
Yeah.
They'll go to the gym together, or they'll go out together, or they'll hold each other accountable while they're eating meals, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's created a little community,
Mm-hmm.
which is freaking awesome, man. Which is what people want.
Yeah. Well, fitness is a community, and that's
Of
like
course.
almost like the backbone of the whole thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we find that people treat it as individualism, right?
Yeah.
Like they treat one person at a time and they forget to bring everyone together so that they can hold each other accountable and really help each other grow.
Yeah. So it almost sounds like, because that's amazing. First off, dude, that's amazing. You were able to kind of test something out and then, wow, you see like this powerful results, right? So it almost sounds like, it's like you go to the gym and you think like, oh, this is like my free time, my spiritual release, my therapy, it's supposed to be therapeutic.
Yeah.
But then it seems like from what you're telling me, it's not enough. After
not.
that, you implemented the meditation again, right? And they were able to see massive results.
Yeah.
Was this kind of like, I guess you could say the safe word, like a pilot a little bit at first?
Yeah, I was testing it a little bit just to see. I was curious.
Yeah.
When you lead with your heart, you lead with curiosity.
Yeah.
And you do it in a loving way.
Mm-hmm.
And even aside from the meditation and, I'll implement yoga and stretching in there as well. But even aside from that, I help them with goal setting, vision casting, language.
Mm-hmm.
Like even what we were talking about earlier, translating negations into affirmations can be one of the most powerful things that you can do because most of us just don't realize how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we spoke earlier and I was saying, all right, Ejay, don't think of a sprinkled donut. Don't think of a sprinkled donut. Don't think of a sprinkled donut. What the hell do you think of?
Think about eating a sprinkled donut.
Hell yeah, you want that sprinkled donut, right?
With some ice cream.
Yeah, because our minds don't understand the word don't.
Yeah.
All they think about is that sprinkled donut.
Yeah.
So you may not want it, but now you're asking your mind to find a way, your reticular activating system, to find a way to find you a sprinkled donut.
Sprinkled donut, yeah.
So the same thing can happen with anything, with anything in your life, goal setting, fitness, whatever, The mind doesn't understand negations.
Mm-hmm. Dude, how important is that to implement all that? Again, when you establish that with your community of people, your clients, goal setting, vision casting, all of that. How important is that to be part of your fitness journey?
It's essential.
Mm-hmm. I know it's essential, but I want you to break it down because I know the way you will explain it will really, explain it to people out there who kind of overlook the whole thing.
So it's like you're restoring a beautiful car.
I like that.
And you spend all of your resources and all of your time and all of your emotional energy to make this car beautiful, and you paint it, you put the rims you want on there, it's shining, and you're like, damn, I did a good job with this thing.
Yeah.
And then you're ready, you're like, man, I'm gonna go drive it on the street, and you go to turn the key and nothing happens.
Yeah.
because you forgot to put the fucking engine in it, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, cool. Yeah, I need an engine in here.
Mm-hmm.
So you throw the engine in there. Okay, cool. We're ready to go now. Turn the key. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Because you forgot to put the gas in it.
Yeah.
So when you're designing your life,
Yeah.
when you want true transformation, you have to remember that not only do you have to take care of the physical part, but you also have to take care of the mental, the cognitive part, the engine.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you want that thing to really run at the optimal level, then you have to give it its fuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is the soul, which is the energy, which is leading with your heart, right? Human connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're just all part of a bigger organism.
Mm-hmm.
There's 50 trillion cells in our body. Each individual cell has its own function. Has actually the parts of the cell exactly mimic the parts of the body as a whole, right? So each one has, its own heart, circulatory system, nervous system, like everything that is in your body, the cell has, right?
Yeah.
So if those 50 trillion cells come together to make you as a human, then it's only logical to say that we all as humans come together, all 8 billion of us, to make the bigger organism called humanity. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the light in me is the same as the light in you. We're all connected. We were put on this planet, in my opinion, I imagine, we were put on this planet to connect, to collaborate, to all rise together.
Yes.
But we're living in this like scarcity, separation
Isolated.
mindset that is becoming so detrimental to the advancement of us as a whole.
Yeah.
And
not just fitness, as a whole.
As a whole.
Yeah. Because like we're
in
talking
the
about
world.
fitness and community, and how like we could come together and reach our goals, like fitness, but as a whole too.
Yeah.
It's not just that. Yeah, no.
Human connection and the energy of healing between all of us contributing with each other is miraculous. And that's not, I'm not over exaggerating that word. It's miraculous. I just experienced it. I just came off of a 6-day retreat called Training Camp for the Soul. And it's facilitated by Anat Perry and Mike Bledsoe. And we go up in a cabin for 6 days, and we all hold loving space for each other as we develop and really get in touch with leading with our heart and healing the inner child. Because our inner child is our emotions.
Yeah.
Right? And we have the heart, we have the ego, we have the inner child, we have the inner critic, and we have the shadow sides of all of us. But the problem is we rearrange who's sitting at the head of that table as we get older.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big family. And that's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can pinpoint times in your life where certain parts of you have been sitting at the head of that table. Like, there's definitely times in my life where ego has been at the head of the table. There's definitely times in my life where the inner critic has been at the head of, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? It's, whatever. It's not meant to be. You're not good enough. That's the inner critic. They've been at the head of the table, the shadow, the things you don't want people to know or people to see. Once that happens, and you want to seclude yourself.
It's almost like they're fighting for like the alpha spot.
They
right?
are.
Yeah.
They're always fighting. But when you can rearrange that table and you can give the biggest voice to your heart and to the inner child that just wants to be curious and play and create, and then the heart that gives you the ability for that human connection and gives you ability to trust that your life flows with ease and grace.
Oh, and also like trying too, like, right? The kids, the curiosity.
Yeah.
They're so curious, but they just keep going, and they're almost like careless.
Yeah.
Live free spirited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when some of the best things start happening in your life.
Yeah.
And I've realized that lately, even with the formulation of Thrīvsource, the formulation of my class, the Reset Happiness class, and all those different things that I've been working on lately, those things have been some of the easiest things I've done in my life, because I'm just allowing those things to come into form by leading with my heart.
Yeah.
And going through this retreat and being around all those people and really feeling how humans can come together and watch each other grow and watch each other heal, and the bonds that can be created through that have been it's been a miracle to be a part of.
Yeah.
And it's and I've been on a personal development journey, man, for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to think of, I've tried programs, courses, retreats, whatever. I've tried it. And I can confidently say that this last retreat was the deepest introspective work I've ever done and ever been a part of on this entire journey.
That's amazing. Just you explaining it. No, I love it. I really like the way you explained that, like how they're, all those pieces are fighting among each other. And it's so true. We all go through it, whether we kind of don't notice it or not, like it involuntarily happens. But, and I completely agree with you, because I've come to this place in my life where I feel like I've almost liberated myself, where I am just mostly carefree now, or whatever, kind of like you, speed of implementation.
Yeah.
Like with this podcast, right? I'm just like, no, I'm going full force. I know where I want to go, and I don't care what's in my way. I don't care what people say, but that took a long time. So what do you think is, because obviously it's all about perspective, right? And we live in this tunnel vision, and society's kind of molding us into this box. How, in your opinion, how do you think people can get out of that and become that kid again, that free spirit? Because for me, I think it just took time. And it took maybe a little maturity, maybe growth, maybe learning a little bit, as I got in my own self-development, journey as well. But in your opinion, what do you think can kind of help people get into that free spirit again?
Play. Just play.
You mean like kind of like opportunity, or just keep trying?
Give yourself the time to play. And you will re-energize and bring your inner child back to life.
Yeah.
And through your inner child, you'll find your heart.
Yeah.
So just play.
Yeah.
That's why my class is called Reset Happiness. And reset is something that I've really been working on. And it stands for replenish, energize, stabilize, empower, and transform. And happiness, self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But I've seen, through combining all of the different modalities that I do through the class and sequencing it the way that I do, I've seen people's physiology change. Their faces change by the end of that class.
Yeah.
And to have, for me, which this is my passion now, for me to be able to provide a class like this out into the world is something that I know is going to make one of the biggest impacts that I can do as an individual.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see how it transforms and how it gets refined and how it changes.
Yeah, dude.
That's my mission right now.
Dude, it sounds amazing, because again, I think mindset has always been a huge key factor. Mindset, the spirituality, the emotional side, everything we're talking about, right? And I almost feel, I'm not no fitness guru, but I do feel that like those are things that are definitely overlooked at least in the fitness industry space.
I agree.
And I always feel like that industry alone is always evolving. We're always trying to tap into new things. We're seeing different research, different studies that are showing results for the human. For people out there who are trying to may be tapping into something new, you did like a test pilot. You did a pilot again. What would be your advice to them? Because it almost seems like, again, you led with your heart. It sounds like, right? And sometimes people with these new ideas, people might not be open to these new ideas that you're trying to present to them.
Yep.
You kind of led in a very leadership manner, but you led with your heart. You were trying to make an impact. Are there other tips or advice that you would give other people who are trying to be innovative, I guess you could say?
Do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
When I was developing this class, I locked myself in my garage, like obviously in and out, but I was in my garage for 2 months and I was just curious. Yeah. What would happen if I do this? What would happen if I do that?
Yeah.
And
the child.
Yeah, I was curious. Yeah. And I was leading with my heart and I was playing and I was like, cool. And I started to think, hey, what do I do well?
Mm-hmm.
I've always shined and I've always done really well leading group fitness classes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, I know I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's see how we can build on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I love yoga. I love animal flow.
Mm-hmm.
I love the intensity of metabolic training.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love, stretching deep yin yoga style stretching.
Mm-hmm.
And I love breathing and I love mindfulness meditation. So what would happen if I put all that together in one class?
Yeah, like I kind of put like all this whole
All of it together.
all these ingredients into
Yep.
a damn freaking recipe or something.
Yep, which is exactly what I did. And when Reset Happiness was born, and I started sequencing everything, and I designed the playlist because the playlist sequences and correlates with the class perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking people through a journey, through an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the music starts and it's slower. It's like, 50, 60 beats per minute during the yoga and the animal flow. And I'm incorporating deep lighting, purple lights and stuff like that at the beginning to really tap into like the emotion, because we all know different lights create different emotions. We know that. Yeah. And then I'm slowly bringing people up on this like almost like a bell curve. And then it hits at the peak at 128 beats per minute as the music starts getting faster and faster and faster, and the lights are turning like red and orange and blinking, and everybody's doing their calisthenics and their dumbbells and their resistance bands, and they're putting it all out on the floor.
Uh-huh.
And then
Does it turn into a club or something?
bro, pretty much.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
okay.
For sure. And then, and I'm leading them, guiding them through it.
Yeah,
They're having a blast. They're sweating. They're letting everything out. Their therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start coming down. And the lights turn like green. The music starts slowing down. I always transition with Bob Marley.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I always
Interesting.
come out of the metabolic, the big, fast, intense part, and I always jump into Bob Marley with all of my playlists.
Yeah.
And then it starts going into like yin style strap stretching, all the way down into breathing, meditation, and just mindfulness at the end. And the lights get tranquil, blue, and everyone is just sitting there. And to experience all that in one class is a representation to me of life.
Yeah.
Because
It seems like there's a lot in it, but
Yeah.
it seems, just you describing it alone.
and it's all guided, it's all smooth, and it all transitions so beautifully, man. And that's just a result of me sitting there putting in the reps for months in my garage with all these different lights and movements and it's been really cool to watch, man.
Yeah.
People at the end of it just come out tears, crying like, dude, I don't know what you just did to me, but like something happened. Something just went
You
down.
just hit me with some. Yeah.
And they're like, I don't even remember the hard parts.
Yeah.
Because you're teaching people throughout the class that you can upregulate yourself. Upregulation isn't always a bad thing. You can live like that. It only becomes a bad thing when we don't know and we don't learn how to down-regulate. And that's what I want to teach people through this, that we can peak. We can go 128 beats per minute. We can go nuts.
Yeah.
But this is how you bring yourself back down.
Yeah.
Because the body needs both for balance.
Yeah. And control. You gotta kind of have like control of yourself too.
Yeah,
right?
man. So it's been really fun to watch. And now I'm getting curious and I'm designing more things. I'm designing reset glutes, reset legs, reset Latin heat, reset slow deep stretch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So I'm making a whole series on it. And we just got picked up by a community in Orlando, Florida that I'll be teaching the class out of. So it'll be fun.
About how long is this class?
59 minutes.
Dang.
And I do some I do some talks at the beginning. Give them the outline for the class. Let them know that you will run into some resistance.
Yeah.
But notice where that resistance is showing up for you. And we're mixing we're inviting everyone. So naturally you get such a different mix of people. And some of them love the metabolic part. Some of them love the yoga. And the people that are there for the yoga, then I'm sprinkling in, I'm surprising them then with some high intensity stuff, which may be resistance for them.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do when you face that resistance? Because you're going to face that resistance in life.
Yeah.
So how
that being uncomfortable almost.
Absolutely.
Like, or you don't know what's gonna hit you type of thing.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Going through the fire.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do at that point when you're facing that resistance? Are you going to give up? Are you going to run away? Or or are you going to battle through and know that there's something beautiful on the other side?
Yeah. Well, you're in that class, so it's kind of like you can't stop a little bit too. But
I mean,
I like how you compare it to life, though. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's definitely true. Dude, I love this because again, it's almost it's almost innovative. You know what I mean? And I think like I don't know what we're driving through here is like, you know, you could be innovative as long as you stay curious. You know what I mean? So powerful, man. It's so powerful. But you know, my question also. So when you pieced it all together, right? You pieced it all together in your garage, in your dungeon, or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, I got something here, right? Did you kind of like start it on yourself too, and then you had like volunteers?
Yep.
And then you just started seeing the results, and you were like, okay, like I'm going full force with this thing.
I do this class every day.
Okay.
I'm to the point now where, and there's different levels to it. You know, the breathing techniques and stuff like that. You can progress or regress them, along with the exercises as well.
Yeah.
But I'm to the point now where it's something that balances me for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. Because I'm getting everything that I need in 59 minutes. I'm getting like, when do you go to the gym and the entire time you're there, you're doing breathing, meditation, stretching, your hard workouts? Dude, I did it for the longest time. I'm like, man, I only got, 55 an hour to work out. I'm just going to go and hit it hard and then walk out the door without stretching. Yeah. And it wrecked my body, man.
Yeah.
It wrecked my body. Yeah. And in this format, in this structure, you don't have a choice.
I completely relate. I felt that way yesterday. I worked out yesterday. I just felt like I was in and out. Didn't even get the stretch. I'm just like, man, dude. But everything you're talking about, it seems like it could go on for it could be like a whole 24-hour thing, but yours is within 59 minutes.
59 minutes, man.
Man.
And that's been kind of like the message that I've been sending, And I started with the online workout programs that we have on the website, and I started with those being something you could do when you didn't have a lot of time, but you still wanted profound results.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like HIIT style training with a lot of different variations to the exercises and using different exercise tools to hit things with different angles and in a different way. Because what I noticed through my fitness journey was, dude, I was going in there doing the same workouts every day, whatever I was comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And if you keep doing that, the body's just not going to change. It's going to plateau. You're going to stay the same.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to respond to anything.
No,
right?
You have to add different styles of acute stress to the body if you expect a response. Mm-hmm. So I actually created a workout for a friend of mine who was joining the Marines. And he's like, hey man, I need something, which is really cool because then I just sat down. I'm like, created one for him. And then I just created like 3 more. I'm like, all right, shit. If I'm already creating workouts, I might as well just go all out.
It's like you're in the zone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I did a body weight one called Quick Start, which has no exercise equipment at all. It's all body weight. You can do it at home. And
convenience.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that one I actually used for my wife, who didn't have time to go to the gym. She just wanted to do something at home to stay toned and still get her workout in. So she does that one a lot. And then I did start, commit, and finish. So starts 4 weeks, commits 6 weeks, and finishes 8 weeks. And finishes, no joke. Mm-hmm. There's like 300 exercises on these workouts. Mm-hmm. So that's how it started. That's how Thrīvsource started. And then just through my curiosity and playing, and it's a representation of my journey because I started doing that kind of higher intensity training. And then I got into the personal development space and I realized how important and crucial it was to add all around training, cognitive, physical, mental, emotional, like all around training to create that true transformation. So now when I coach people, I take them through goal setting processes, and we're able to, through my coaching, not only in the physical aspect and the workout aspect, I'll take them through right at the beginning in the discovery call. I'll take them through a goal setting process. So they'll be like, hey, this is my goal in the next 3 years. So we'll establish the goal. We'll establish mantras behind the goal, because the mantras are the how. That's how you shift your identity. Because when you accept that I am statement, when you accept it, you create a feeling in your body. When you create that feeling in your body,
an important feeling too. Yeah,
it's the most important thing. When you create that in your body, you induce the thought. When you induce that thought, you capture energy. When you capture that energy, electromagnetic frequency, when you capture that, you can create your reality.
Yeah.
So it all begins with that I am, but you have to accept that I am statement.
Yeah.
If you say I am worthy, I am enough, I am confident, you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Like you accept sitting in this chair right now.
You have to own it.
You have to own it.
Yeah.
And then that'll create that feeling, that'll create that thought, that'll capture that light, that'll create your reality, man. So I take them through that. That's the how. The goal is the what, and then the because is the why.
Yeah.
And then I take them through those steps and I break it down. 3 year, 1 year, 1 quarterly, 1 month, and then daily actions that we can take every single day to create that goal.
Dude, I am a firm believer that everybody needs to be their own hype man. I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel that way. Whether sometimes you don't have that courage or maybe that confidence to be that person, but you most definitely need to own yourself, to know who you are, what you're capable of, and own in on, like, I am worthy.
Amen.
And dude, you should see me, man. I'd be looking in the mirror like hyping myself up, but you need it. You know what I mean? Like, because not everybody out there, you can't rely on other people to do it for you, right?
You have to be the hero of your own story. And that's
parables, man. Parables.
Amen, bro. And that's one of the biggest mantras, affirmations that I give to my clients.
Yeah.
I tell them, go home, look in the mirror, and say, I am the hero of my story. We're all just running a story.
Yeah.
The beautiful part is that we can rewrite the script.
Yeah.
And those I am statements are a big part of that. They create your identity.
Yeah.
It's all about identity, man.
Yeah.
So be the hero of your own story, because you can.
Dude, and it's what I like to, and I know you know this, but being an athlete, being in, like fitness, being an athlete, it translates to being a business athlete, and that business could be your life, right? And how that's so, interrelated. And the fact that you bring that in to not only that, that 50, everything that you're doing with the cognitive, the fitness and all that stuff. And then you bring in that goal setting, that video, all that vision casting. That's incredible, man. Like I said, I feel like this is some innovative shit, man.
I just want to, a lot of this, I've been on a personal development journey, man. A lot of these things I've learned with programs and stuff that I've done. And then I implement that for my clients.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if you can rewrite someone's story and change their identity, then the body will become whatever the mind believes.
Yeah. They'll be unstoppable.
It's one of the most counterproductive things you can do is just try and change someone's physicality without addressing the root. Yeah. You also have to meet people where they're at, though, because most people are going to come to you for abs and biceps. Like, I just want guns and biceps, dude. Like, I don't know what you're talking about with all this like mind stuff. So I say, okay, cool. We'll get you abs. We'll get you biceps. Yeah. We'll change your body. No worries. That'll happen. And then I start planting the seeds, just little by little, planting the seeds. And then 6 months down the road, when they've got what they wanted, they're like, shit, you mean it's been mindset this whole time? Like this whole time I've been doing this, it's been mindset? Like, yeah, it's been mindset. I mean, ask people that are millionaires. And a lot of them will say, I became a millionaire and I wasn't happy. That's the same thing with fitness. You think that by getting the body that you want, it's going to make you happy. But then when you get the body that you want, you realize, oh, something's still missing. Yeah. So my mission is to address all of it at once, at the same time. Yeah. And then that'll create true transformation. There's some people that may realize, man, I haven't been leading with my heart. I'm in a job that I hate. That's killing me. Literally killing people.
Yeah. Spiritual suicide, I like to call it.
Yeah. It's killing people. And then finally, after working with me for a while, they get the courage to start leading with their heart and doing what they're passionate about. And I didn't always have words for it, right? Like I knew intuitively that something was happening. Like I didn't know, it was just a feeling for me. Everything just kind of lined up. But lately I've started developing a way to like put it into words. Like, yeah, this is what's happening. Yeah.
I almost feel like I don't know why this just dawned upon me, Mike, but I almost feel like I want to say it's like discovering your inner hype man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, dude. No doubt.
Yeah, right? Because it's just, man, dude. So okay, so describe to me now that I got your mission, definitely beautiful. What's next? Kind of what's the bigger picture for Thrīvsource?
So we're gonna continue to grow the online platform,
Okay.
but the big mission for Thrīvsource is getting this class out there, because I've seen the biggest changes, the biggest impact, the most profound things have happened with human transformation just through being able to put this class on in different places. So what I want to do is just go around the country, man.
Share it with the world. Share the
Share it
results.
with the
Share the
world.
transformations. Make that impact, right?
And the beautiful thing with this class is I could do it outside. I won't have the lights, unfortunately, but I can do it outside. I can do it in yoga studios. I can do it in gyms. I can do it in corporations.
So you're versatile.
It can be done anywhere, man. And if you're a corporation and you offer this to your employees, like at the beginning of the day, I guarantee you will have the happiest staff.
Y'all listening to this?
I know it. I actually have a lawyer's office that I do this class for. And we started.
Describe this to me, like some maybe testimonials, like or actual experiences of offices, corporations, other people you've besides your clients, seen the impact. So this lawyer office you're talking about.
So I started working with a lawyer's office, a local one, where I'm at about 5 months ago. And as I was developing the class, I was implementing the different components of the class with her and her staff. And I go there every week and I do the class for them. And it was only supposed to be for like a month. We just want to try it for a month and see what happens. It's almost been like 5 or 6 months now. And I asked her the other day, I'm like, how you feeling about the class? How's everything going? And she just looks at me and she's like, Mike, I know we were only supposed to try this for a month.
yeah.
But we have to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I have never had a happier staff than I do right now.
Yeah.
And then she kind of leans in. She's like, and they're more productive, and I'm making more money. And I'm like,
please, let's keep it going.
Yeah, I'm like, cool, dope. Let's keep it going, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, teaching people how to just down-regulate their bodies, dude.
Yeah.
Just that alone.
Yeah.
Can have such a crazy effect on the way they interact with the world.
Yeah.
So if you have a happy, productive, clear-thinking, down-regulated staff that still has the drive, right? The passion, leading with their heart to produce what they want out of love, right? And out of helping others, then everything else just starts fitting into place. You just start attracting everything else that you want.
Yeah.
But most people just, they just don't have that right now.
Yeah.
So it's my mission, man. It's my mission to just get out there and offer it and watch how all the effects of it just start unfolding for everyone, man. And if we can all live in a place like that, man.
Where we could be connected, have inner peace, right? Dude, I love it, man. Dude, I love everything that you're doing. See, this is why, man. This is why I knew just the conversation we had on the phone. I knew just there's something special because, dude, there's a lack of perspective and definitely a lack of knowledge, and maybe it's overlooked of that side of of fitness. You know what I mean? And just the mindset alone of just having that inner peace, man. It's like it plays a huge toll on the human body. You know what I mean? And it's very important.
And it's shifting. It's changing. The fitness industry is starting to realize with people like Mike Bledsoe and people like Mark England and people like that are really focusing on
who you're going to be with later today.
Yeah. They're people that I've learned from, mentors of mine. Mark has vocabulary, and Mike and Mark together have enlifted the Strong Coach program that I've been through. I mean, a lot of the things that I've learned through their programs and through their teachings. But they realize that you have to address fitness intuitively. It has to be a cognitive thing. It has to be a physical thing. It all has to be together. And it's a lot of the things that I was, even before I met them, it was a lot of the things that I was implying or applying and also feeling. So then when I was able to get thrown into their courses and the way we were thinking, I'm like, shit, I fit right in. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's been really cool to watch everything kind of just unfold and come together, and I fully expect things to start shifting. And the gyms and the people that don't pick it up, they're just gonna be weeded out. They're just gonna be
It'll be left behind, right?
blockbuster video, baby.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it's gonna happen because the client's gonna start demanding. If you have a coach that just wrecks you for an hour and then kicks you out the door versus a
No
coach
one wants to be with them. Yeah.
versus a coach that really connects
Yeah.
and helps you set goals and helps you change your life and helps you, down regulate your. I mean, like, there's just gonna be demand for
No,
that.
I completely agree. I don't want to be training with somebody that just tries to go out there and blows my back versus somebody that's actually we're focusing on these important elements of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Dude, I love it, man. Dude, so where can people find you? Where can people find you on social media? Reach out to you if they have any questions. Where can they reach out? Your website and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I have my Dynamike account.
Dynamite
Account, and it's Dynamike_fitness on Instagram, and then my Thrīvsource account. No E in the Thrive.
No E in the Thrive, everybody.
THRIV Source. And that's on Instagram as well. The website is www.thrīvsource.com. And yeah, we're with all this new knowledge and all these new things that I've been applying. We're redoing the website. We're launching a video and a marketing campaign for the Reset class coming up. So there's going to be a lot of things coming up in the next 6 months to 8 months that are going to be really cool that I'm excited to check out.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm excited for you, man. Just I don't know why this came up too. Just because I'm so intrigued by our conversation. Just the fact that you said in the your reset class, right? You have the Bob Marley playing. I'm like intrigued now. I'm like, man, I gotta get a part of this, man.
Yeah, man.
It's cool, man. Dude, I love everything that you're doing. Anything I could do to help spread this, whether it's through this platform or anything outside of this, I got you, man. Just let me know. Guys, if you feel that Mike could be of service to you, definitely reach out to him. This is definitely an important topic. I mean, we have a very innovative person here. And dude, I appreciate everything you're doing. This is something for the better. Dude, I appreciate you being on the Parables, coming all the way from Orlando, Orlando, Florida, man. This is the Dynamite, man, the Dynamite, dude. And I always gotta say this. Only legends sign my canvas.
Oh man, it would be an honor, brother.
Dude. And usually I have 3 Sharpies. By the way, if you guys don't know this already, I got 3 Sharpies that I give my guests. It's silver, bronze, and gold, of course. I'm just gonna not let you pick. I'm just gonna put the gold on you, man.
I love it, brother. Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
Dude, guys, hey, if you guys are listening or watching, please do me a favor. Tag me and Mike. Let us know that you're watching or listening. Tag us and let you know what you think. Also, at the same time, if you know that this particular episode, or actually any episode on the Parables, can be of influence, can be of impact to somebody, please share it with them. That's all I ask. And man, dude, I appreciate you again, brother.
Love you, man.
Dude, Parables Podcast with the Dynamite, Mike Gonzalez. I appreciate you. We are out of here.